This will be a winter festival and ice hockey event unlike anything we've ever seen in Rochester before. Frozen Frontier, an ice rink built within the confines of an outdoor stadium, is a work in progress.
We're going to be looking at about 2.5 weeks. We started about a week ago. They had to level the field off first because there's a little bit of crown to the baseball stadium, and we need a completely level surface. So we have a sandbox, and we got plywood that goes on top of the sandbox, and we put an inch of insulation and another layer of plywood, and then we put a big plastic tarp, which we call our vapor barrier, which helps keep everything in place, and then we roll out our big tubes and our headers out.
The company was formed in 2002 and grew as demand for their services increased to the point where rink specialists, even while essentially just a 9-person operation, is big time.
We started ice painting about 12 years ago, and now we've got to the point of building full NHL-sized ice rinks inside baseball stadiums, football stadiums, wherever needed.
They're working 3 ice rink projects this season. The others are at Fenway Park in Boston and Comerica Park in Detroit. But those will be recreational rinks. Since this will get professional exposure from the Rochester Americans and the AHL, ours is actually the more significant job. The weather is less an issue than you might think. They open an outdoor rink beachside in Santa Monica, California in 80-degree temperatures without a hitch. It can, however, be too cold, as it was once in Chicago.
We want the ice to be 18 degrees, and now we can refrigerate to any temperature, to low, but we can't increase the ice temperatures. So we had one game that was an outdoor game where the high for the day was 0 degrees, and the ice would get so brittle at that point when the Zambonis pull out on it, or when a skater takes a sharp cut on it, the ice will break out in large chunks because it's too brittle.
All of this is largely an outgrowth of the first NHL Winter Classic, held in Buffalo with the Sabres playing Pittsburgh New Year's Day 2008. A crowd of over 70,000 turned out at the Ralph where the Bills play. It was one of the hottest tickets in the history of Western New York sports.
I got goosebumps. It was just something completely different. NHL's never really seen it before. I think they had the one Heritage Classic before that, but anything just for the Buffalo region itself, it was a great experience. It was a perfect game. Unfortunately, we lost, but you know, with Crosby and Miller in a shootout, that's what you wanted to come down to.
The Emmerich game against the Lake Erie Monsters on December the 13th will kick off 10 days of outdoor hockey at Frontier Field. Everyone will get their shot. The RIT men and women's teams play. The Nazareth and Geneseo hockey teams own a date. There's an alumni game for the Emmerichs. Open skating opportunities. Frozen Frontier concludes with 10 high school hockey games the weekend of December 21st and 22nd, involving 19 different Section 5 representatives. Each of the high schools purchased 500 tickets for resale. There's a full line of Frozen Frontier gear available. Corporate sponsorship from Honda and Labatt, all part of a collaboration with the Rochester Americans and the Rochester Red Wings to cover a $400,000 price tag.
You know, obviously this is a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of effort on all of our organizations jointly together working on this to make it work, and we'll see what happens. In any event, you know, people that come to these games, it's going to be a win for them. It's going to be really cool, something that people are going to remember for a long, long time.